I am Alex, also the Steel Fox in most chats. Um, I have helped with the development of Rupture, mostly with helping with the numbers on the gear and equipment. So if anyone has a problem with the numbers on the equipment, that's probably my fault. And this is oddly due to just bad circumstances. The first time I've actually been able to play a game with the Rupture system. So if anyone has a problem with the numbers on
Hi,
the
I am Maxwell. I am at Living Maxwell over on TikTok, and I am also helping out with the development here and there, just sort of pointing out things and suggestions through the player's handbook and so on and so forth. And I'm very excited to finally play over on TikTok, and I am also helping out with the development here and there,
So
just sort
I
of
am
pointing out
Megan,
things
and
suggestions through
I'm really excited to be playing. I'm close friends with people that are developing this. I haven't really had a hand in
very excited
being a part of the development, but I'm super excited to be a part of this story. So I am Megan, and
I'm Vivi or Vivacia. On Twitch, I'm Vivacia. On Twitter, I'm Miss Vivacia. There's a 4-year-old jumping monkey back behind me. I'm not really doing much development, guys, but you know, I always have opinions, and I'm kind of excited to see where this is going.
I think so.
Yeah.
So everybody does know what the X and an O cards are, right? You know that?
Thing.
Yeah. Well, basically the X and O cards are for us to use during the game to make sure that we're all okay, because even if we talk about the lines and veils before, you might not even know you have a line or a veil until you're in the middle of the game. Like I had that before, that until it happened, I didn't know it bothered me. And that's why we have the X and O cards. Like if we come to something that might be, you think, you can put an O in our chat and a question mark, like is everybody okay? And everybody can say okay or no. And then if anybody at any time needs to stop what we're doing right now, it's an X. It's either write it in chat, you know, show it, and we got to stop immediately and move on and not go back to that again. And then later we talk about why. So that's why we have the X and N O cards, which are, you know, for on the stream if something happens that you didn't know before bothered you.
I know that I personally don't have any lines of veils. I'm a very comfortable person and haven't had a whole lot of trauma, so I'm pretty good.
For me, I just go off of what I would consider the usual ones. I don't the attacking or hurting of children, sexual assault. Those are the kind of the two that come to mind quickly for me.
Yeah, most of the isms, right? Most of the isms, sexism, you know, all of this, racism, all of that stuff. And I agree, the stuff for kids, that's not what most, you know, kind of abuse stuff is really not what I enjoy playing. And then there was something else I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I really would like not to talk about drowning much. That, and I am okay with spiders as long as please do not go into super details of fangs and dripping and hairy legs. I might shiver. Yes, and the only other hard line I have is PvP when it wasn't talked about before.
The classic downfall of any table.
I mean, because especially if it's you know, a group of people that are very you know, you've been playing for a while and then it ends up in PvP, that's heartbreaking.
Mm.
If that's talked about before, and we say, hey, yes, you know what, our characters are mad at each other, you know, how about I punch you in the face and you kick me in the butt, and then we're good, you know, then it's good. But you know, if you jump that in the middle of the game, that's going to be like, at least for me. Hi, Kat.
I have one question. So for racism, does it also include the racism inside of the game, or is it just the races outside of the game that you're concerned about?
Mostly out of the game, but I really don't know about how that will work in game. I haven't read so deep into it. It's not like, you know, it's like in the other big game. If you would say, yes, if you have a bias against drow, I would understand that. That doesn't have to mean we have to like deep dive into it, but it's not like, you know, yeah, that's fine, because that's the way this is, because they don't know about each other. But if it's like, you know, getting into the that's a little uncomfortable, I would say.
As for when it comes to the PvP thing, and since you mentioned it and reminded me, I also very am against people using forms of like mind control or the persuasion skills to try forcing other people's characters to do things against their will. I mean, if the person tells you, if the player you're trying to convince tells you to roll a persuasion, that's one thing. But if you roll a persuasion and try to force them to do it,
Yeah, mind control is sticky. It's like takes agency away. That's kind of like,
Yeah, and other players, that's yeah. I'm glad you continued on with that though. It said player characters, because I like, if you notice, I glanced over at like the spells I had selected. I'm like, oh, it's like, oh no.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds good to me. Yep.
In-game dance battles only.
Or
my character's only going to have an agility of 1. I am going to be at such a huge disadvantage.
And let me introduce you to the co-producer. This is Timmy. That's my Velcro cat. He is always here. So if you hear my mic going like, that's this cat. It is Timmy the Velcro cat. All right. Yeah, he's just on top of everything. It's like he will not leave. Sorry for interrupting.
Yep.
No. All right, well, let me do that. Let me do that. They can't hear him, or they can't hear none of us. What? No, that's sad.
No.
That's just sad.
Don't
Hello,
worry, he's just
hello.
the narrator. No one's.
Heard now.
It's not going to be a problem.
Right.
All right. Do your super time.
Okay, good to know.
I
All right.
might want to open that up so I can see it.
Those are the only two strangers.
Hello.
out there.
Ed, hey, how's it going, Night Sky? Hello, hello. Let's get your mic running. Well, I get to go fix the windows again.
Where are we streaming?
It would
Which
be
channel?
on Pineapple Dragon.
I have to follow you.
Yeah, I'm PineappleWolf on the Discord forums, but when I set up my Twitch, somehow that was already taken. Like, and I thought I was the one crazy enough to do fruit-based wolves.
No, and then right below you is Pineapple's Wagon, and I'm almost clicked on that. And there's also Pineapple Dragon 7.
Apparently, I stole it from him first. I don't.
But why would you go 7 then? But that's okay. Why am I asking, right? Why am I asking?
7 awesome pineapple dragons.
It sounds like a really good drink.
Oh, I'll work on that later for the bartending side of this channel. Hey, look. Right. Night Sky. Still need to see if we can get your voice up and running so we can hear your loveliness.
You know what? I actually think you got the wrong overlay.
I got the wrong overlay? Oh, I'm making it work now.
Yes, because the one that you are supposed to be having should have a. Does that help?
Yes, I can actually hear you.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
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 I don't know.
Can
I
you
don't
hear
know.
me?
As long
Yeah.
as you can go through it, but I can see a little bit of myself. As long as there's like,
Yeah, I
you
got.
know,
I'm trying to.
you can go behind the overlay and put stuff in there.
Yeah. Still gotta make all the cameras fit and adjust and all that fun stuff. So I'm doing that again real quick. Hey, Night Sky, would you like to give everyone a nice quick introduction about who you are and what brought you in?
I am a friend of Sean's. We've been friends for probably at least 10 years now. So, tabletop RPG and stuff I have for years, and, I felt like this might be fun, so I figured I'd play test it for him and see where that went.
Awesome. Perfect. Hey, so
I've got a couple of books for play testing too, so I'm actually running a group for them to play test with. So
love it, love it. We're very excited to see how a younger audience feels about the Rupture system. All right, so we are actually discussing, are you familiar with lines and veils?
yes, vaguely.
Perfect.
Basically, what's everybody comfortable with and what aren't they comfortable with?
Yeah, that exactly. Do you have any particular lines and veils to discuss?
Not really. I mean, I'm trying to keep the kids mostly out of the room until we see how that goes, but
So, I'll be honest, my general preference is to run lighthearted adventures. I'm not uncomfortable going into darker subjects, but if those around me are, then I will avoid them.
they're not my favorite, but my biggest thing is just trying to keep the kids out of the room. If it's not going to be PG, I need to know. So
We should be keeping it fairly PG, especially
'Cause
with
I have 10
what we've
kids,
talked about.
I have 10 kids, like I said, so it's hard to, keep them from not wanting me at some point in time.
Right. I get you.
I have only one, and it's already hard enough, so I don't know how you do it.
Help out with each other. So,
Lighthearted shenanigans.
right. Who doesn't need lighthearted shenanigans, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
That's where all the fun is. Lighthearted shenanigans. Okay, Sean, you are watching me from a distance. All my cameras lined up looking halfway decent. Gotta cut a little Maxwell out of this one now.
Oh, hey.
Well, I'm not seeing anyone say no, so I'm gonna call it a success. Okay. Perfect. Then, is everyone ready? I'm going to make sure one last time. Does everyone have the most updated version of the book? We just released a new one this morning.
I have to release or download it to my phone because my computer doesn't like me today.
Go figure. Trust me, I'm having all kinds of fun tech issues setting up this stream for the first time, so I get angry computers.
I just downloaded it, so.
Yeah, my computer decided it needed to update everything, so I had to use my tablet to get into the Zoom. So
It
Yeah.
always does that, right? The moment you actually want to do something, it's like, update! I screwed it all up. Nee.
So, Night Sky, your camera is set up a little weirdly. Like, most of your image is like you being cut off. Oh, there we go.
yeah, it's kind of weird. If I put it on my desktop, then I don't have a lot of usable space, but I can work with that for now. So,
I
and
mean,
hopefully for next time, I can actually be on the computer.
Ideal. But we're making it work. It's all about playing the game. But Druidlux did point out that y'all can see was the head.
Sorry. Well, I can't see everybody unless I swipe because of my tablet, so.
Same here.
It doesn't give you the gallery view,
Yeah,
so
I
you
was
can
saying
see
gallery
everybody.
view.
No, not on my tablet anyway. I can only get 4
Weird.
people on the screen.
Oh.
That's so silly.
So I can see Megan and Alex and Dragon, and then I have to swipe the screen to see everybody else.
Well, we'll make it work.
Or you can have it on the screen where it just shows the person that's talking. There's that screen too. So.
Or it tells me safe driving mode, or.
Or Zoom? Zoom is
Yeah.
safe driving mode?
Yeah, it's like either gallery view or speaker view, and speaker view is whoever talks. And believe me, I'm on my new computer, and I'm not used to having like one screen. I was on the laptop, and every time I want to go over to the laptop, I forget I actually have to touch the laptop instead of using my mouse and going over to the next screen. And I'm like, I will learn. But I did get the fillable character sheet so that we can do that while we're doing this instead of my horrible handwriting.
Perfect. Okay, so does everyone have the book and the character sheet? Because those are the two important pieces to start. It also helps to have a deck of cards and dice.
I have dice, card, character sheets, and like 3 versions ago printed out of the handbook. But...
I definitely got plenty of dice, but I might have to use online thing for cards.
Hey, Alex, do we own a deck of cards?
Actually, yes, we do. I got them from Lux.
I
have no
think
idea where
I
they are.
already pulled the cards when I did this, but else everything might have changed. Timmy, are you trying to kill me? They don't even know me yet.
All right. Druidlux, Schleria is still on the move. I believe they are military base, and yes, I can do cards for you guys as long as someone brings me a pack of cards, because I'm an underprepared DM apparently. Sorry, narrator.
I have cards, so I can always use mine if that would make life easier.
Sean likes to do it on stream where he'll have the stream call out what number of card to be pulled. It lets everyone interact, so if you don't have cards, we can play with that later. But that's a little way down the line. Let's start with the basics if everyone's ready.
Yep.
I'm ready.
All right. So kind of most important is getting that concept down. What do you want your character to be in this world? So I'm going to kind of just go around. I've got Living Maxwell here in the top corner. Then Alex, Megan, Mrs. Vivacia, Night Sky, and Schleria if she has the time. I'm letting her go last on purpose. Come on in. See my nice background assistant here. Thank you. Now I have cards. All right, for when that works later, I'm going to start with Maxwell to give Schleria maximum time. So what concept are you thinking of?
Character as a whole?
Yeah, character as a whole.
So I sort of had the idea that I am playing a young Sianok who dabbles in some magic, at least the Princeans. I'm not sure how the Sianoks of Citadel feel about the illegal magics. Although I guess based off of my some roles I did, I am disliked by the town, as is my family. But the idea is sort of he is a bit of an outcast who his goal essentially is he believes and his family believe that Toril is not the home of the Sianoks, and that if you'd like me to explain, he has reasons for this belief, his family. But that pursuit of trying to prove that and, trying to understand why the Sianoks appeared on Toril is sort of a driving force for him. And that led him into studying the fields of magic, time, and telepathy.
Interesting. So playing a bit of a dangerous character, are we?
Oh, yeah.
All right, love it. That should be exciting. All right, Alex, how about you?
I am actually planning on playing a actual golem character. He's going to be using the Stoneborn's stats and whatnot, but he will actually be a manufactured creature, or a creature that was built by a wizard. And I'm going to full on runes on the forehead and everything, golem style. He is going to, after his master realized that he was actually sentient, he stayed at the magic school he taught for a while, learned a fair amount of magic, and now he is off exploring. His personal goal currently is to actually find an elixir of immortality, not for himself, but because he's tired of seeing everyone around him slowly growing old as he stands still in time. So he wants to find a formula to make this elixir so that he can slowly start spreading it around the world so that he is no longer the only person that lives forever.
Interesting goal. So the other Stoneborns that also basically live forever, not super friendly with them?
Other Stoneborn eventually when they complete their goal or their destiny, they re-merge into the mountain that they were born from.
Fair enough. All right. So I'm going to say magic has only been around for about 300 years, unless you were something super, super, uber powerful. So basically just right after the Rupture, almost?
He hasn't been exploring long.
Okay.
I'd say he's probably 50 years at most. 50 years old at most.
Interesting.
I'm not sure how old I'm going to make him yet, but...
Okay, cool. Megan, what you got?
So I am working on a tunic. She is going to be a little bit young, a little bit small, but she is trying to return a artifact that belongs in the ruins that she is set to protect. She noticed that it had gone missing, and she decided to take it upon herself to go out and find it. So she is out of entry.
All right, fun. Mrs. Vivacia.
Well, Vivi is fine. So that makes it easy. And there's the 4-year-old again, because she was quiet the whole time, right? All right. So what I did actually is I decided I'm gonna go in this with no notion, and I actually went through the old version of it, and everything that I could roll, I rolled. Basically, I rolled for everything. Everything that showed up, I counted and I rolled, and I came out with a goblin assassin.
Yeah.
So she's going to be a female goblin assassin, about 40 years old, 3 feet 4, 120 pounds, red hair, brown eyes, and her call to action is glory. And her personal goal, after I rolled for everything else, is reunite with her family.
All right.
So fake, this child.
Hey, got a great career in acting ahead of her. All right, sounds like a fun character. Night Sky, have you had any thought on what kind of character you were thinking about playing?
Well, I have an idea, but I know it's something that you have to decide on before I can say that it's the race or anything. But I figure I will probably end up playing a healer type, like very survival-y herbalism, kind of druid type character. But I was thinking if I could get flight, I would probably go with like a gnome fairy hybrid.
Oh, that could be fun. I'll go for it.
So, and then I would take the gnome trait with the fairy flight for the healing ability to go with the herbalism and poison making, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can go for a hybrid gnome fairy. That sounds like fun.
Tiny little thing flying all over everywhere, trying to keep everybody alive.
As you do. And hey, Schleria, have you managed to join us?
Yes, I did.
Hey!
I'm sorry about that.
Hey, it's all good.
There's
as
a
long as
lot
you're
of
here.
singing going on. Sorry.
Understandable.
Yes. So my character is a kitsune. I plan on being a monk. So a lot of just namaste and meditation,
Love it.
and then actually getting out to the front. So I'll be a frontline individual, and then just making sure that I have the attributes to make sure that I can be a fighter, but also keep with the Zen.
Gotta love the Zen. All right, I'm gonna note that we actually end up changing Kitsune to the Sihanouk just because they kept getting confused with the Japanese Kitsune, which, I mean, it's not like they have the same name or anything. Whoops. So, slight change in name, but love the concept. Okay, so I'm going to tell our viewers, normally if we were doing just a brand new character creation, we'd go about this slightly differently, but we've had this group set up for about 4 weeks, and we've just had too many delays getting us all together at the same time. If we can somehow create an RPG system that does not need people to all be there at the same time, I think we would hit a gold mine. Maybe someone's already done it, I don't know. But until that time, it does take a little bit to get people together. So a lot of our players already have their concepts figured out, and some I think have almost filled out their entire character sheets. So we're just gonna kind of go piece by piece, and whoever doesn't have it filled out, we'll let them fill it out. And if I get to a piece you already have filled out, just kind of explain why you made the choices and how it's affecting your character. Sound good?
Oh, we're just so excited to play.
Right?
Indeed.
There was just no waiting.
All right. So normally the first step would be selecting species. I think everyone's done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's work with the background generator. That will be on page 44. So the background generator covers a couple different things. It covers your family and what they do, their relation to you, how they feel about you, the type of environment you grew up in, and then other things like events that have happened in your past. Maybe you were robbed, maybe you somehow tamed an animal, maybe you met a rival. So these all come into play, and a lot of it is randomized. You don't necessarily get to choose who your family is, and you don't always get to choose what happens to you in life. Once your characters are starting, you have the full control over them. But before that, you're going to get some interesting pieces to play with. And it gives the narrators tons of fun hooks to play with. So, is everybody over on page 44?
Yep.
All right. So, Maxwell, did you say you had already rolled a lot of your pieces?
For background, yeah, I can go through, as you mentioned, sort of what those roles came out to be.
Sure. Let's just start right where I'm going to have everyone else. So it's going to be your family relations first. So let's just start with that, and we'll work through everyone else's family, and we'll come back to everything else for you.
So for family on the background generator, we have we do know the parents, and not orphaned, so grew up with family. The father is alive. He is a scholar who likes my character, and he is sane. The mother is missing. She is an adventurer, cool hook, likes me, and is also sane, one can hope, still. No siblings. And I think that's all for family. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Remind me, what was it your father did?
He is a scholar.
Interesting. And his relation to you?
Oh, how he feels about my character?
Mm-hmm.
He likes my character.
Perfect. And what was your mother's relation?
Also likes my character.
Perfect. So I can't have your mother coming back trying to get revenge on you somehow? No? All right. Let's shift it over to Alex then. Have you... Okay, you're pseudo-stoneborn, so you generally don't have much family. So,
So, normally Stoneborn do not roll family. They skip over this whole section. I, however, wanted to play with it, which is why I kind of created the backstory of my guy being created. I skipped over the orphan part because he wouldn't know he was made if he didn't know his family. Rolled for his creator, who I'm just referring to as dad as right now. He is alive. I rolled for a number of siblings to see if his creator had any students, which apparently he did not. A little bit to my sadness. And that's so far what I've rolled.
okay. So you have your parent down, you have your sibling down. Really, no siblings. Okay. What details did you have about your father character?
I'm actually rolling it right now.
All right.
Apparently he was also, So we have the mage in the list,
We do.
but I also rolled it and got merchant.
Why not both?
Why not both? Attitude towards me. I wonder how he feels about me right now. And that is an 11. So he likes me.
Good, good.
And now my favorite part is he Mana-torn. Mana-torn and loose.
Oh, that's exciting. All right. So, for those of you who are not familiar with our system, magic is so prevalent within the world of Terral that it is quite possible that even those that know how to use magic can go insane from it if they are not careful, if they're not using the proper systems. You'll often see average people accidentally accessing magic, and without using the proper systems, it tears apart their soul, then their mind, then their body. So you can have those that are mana-torn but still look relatively normal, but they're more driven by instinct than anything else. A little bit more bestial than a normal creature would be. So him being mana-torn and loose, especially as a mage powerful enough to create his own artificial being, ooh, that's going to be fun. All
You
right.
just gave him his first weapon to wreck us.
right.
I'll be honest, I was really hoping he would roll his Mana-torn.
Dr. Eggman.
Yeah, you get a little bit of that.
Maybe he split his, very essence to create you.
Yeah. He went insane in the creation of our character.
All right, Megan, I believe your character was still fairly new.
Yeah, I haven't rolled anything for her yet. So I just rolled, and she is not orphaned. So
Okay.
she does have parents and sibling. Parents are deceased. This mother is, and the father is alive. Okay, so I have a father.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll what his position is in society. He is a merchant.
Okay.
He dislikes me. Sadness. I'm gonna pretend that my mother left me. He is sane.
Okay. All right. And did you roll any siblings?
Right now. I have one sibling.
Okay.
It is going to be. They are older than me. And they are non-binary.
Okay.
And they are alive.
Interesting.
I think Dad likes them more. He obviously doesn't like me very well.
Remind me, what species were you playing?
I'm playing a Chinook.
Okay, let's make this interesting. All right, give me the quick position in society, their attitude towards you, and their sanity.
All right. Oh, ooh. Nope, never mind. Dad does not like her, or does not like them either.
Oh, why's that?
They are a criminal.
Oh,
He hates all of his kids equally.
Right.
but how does your sibling feel
They're
about you?
neutral towards me. That's good.
There's worse things.
They could dislike me.
That's true.
And they are also sane.
Good. Let's not have Matatorn siblings running around. No, wait, that'd be more
Yeah.
fun. Nah. All right. Vivacia, so you said you pre-rolled everything, right?
Yes, I basically went through and I found out that my girl, who doesn't have a name yet, because I don't know, I haven't figured it out yet, she is orphaned, but she knows her birth family. Her mother is missing and incarcerated, so she doesn't know where she's incarcerated, and I wrote adventurer for her. And she was devoted to my girl. For her father, I rolled that he's alive, and he's a soldier, and he likes her. And she has an older brother who is alive. He's mage and Manatorn, and he loves her.
Oh dear.
But he's loose, so not incarcerated.
That's two
Yay.
Manatorn mages. Seen a
Right?
line here.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a little bit of a story forming from that. Especially being as with the weird likes or loves coming into play too.
I just love that I rolled missing and incarcerated, because she's like Manatorn and incarcerated. So it's like,
But you don't
okay,
know
so
where.
basically I don't know where she is, but somewhere she's locked up.
Okay. So was your mother, right? Missing, Manatorn, and incarcerated?
Yes.
I missed the Manatorn from her. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Sorry. This is because there's only one incarcerated, and that goes with Manatorn, right?
Yeah. Well, didn't you say your brother was Manatorn but loose? Or did I think
Yes.
so? Okay, perfect. All right. That should be interesting.
Yeah, and just Daddy is completely boring soldier.
I mean, so you're the least problematic of the family for the father, right?
Well, we'll come to that later.
You know, just the average assassin daughter.
Yeah, right? No trouble at all.
Not at all. All right, Night Sky. Believe your character is also still pretty new, so we need to do some rolling.
I have a little bit, I think, to roll, but there are a few things that I had already rolled.
Okay.
So what I've rolled so far is she is orphaned. Both of her parents are dead, and her twin sister is missing. Their mom was a nobility, and she was the fairy, and their father was a soldier, and her sister was a mage.
All right.
Their parents, it was fun. I for the heck of it, I rolled. Their parents were actually devoted to each other, and they liked the twins, but the twins were devoted to each other. You know, they kind of had to do their bonding because the parents were more devoted to each other. They lived outside of the species territory, which, you know, being a hybrid, you know, couple would make sense.
Yeah.
In a rural village, and it was a generally content village, and they loved her family, which was all sane. And that's as far as I've got rolling wise. So.
All right, sounds good. Remind me, what was your sibling?
It was a twin sister that's actually just a few minutes older than her.
Okay, did you say she was a mage?
Sister is a mage, yes. Mother was a noble, father was a soldier, sister is a mage. So somewhere out there is a gnome fairy hybrid mage that is missing. So I gave you something fun to play with.
Oh, so much. All right. Schleria, are you in a position where you're able to do all the rolls?
Yes. So I'm gonna be an orphan.
Okay.
my big thing is that I was picked up by the monks and taught their ways. So I'm trying to make sure that I can get up to their expectations. However, I'm very hard-headed, so I have not completely gone to their ways, and that's how I actually get with the group, so that I'm actually trying to learn my ways of the monk in Namaste and understanding that I have to be accepting of others and not just going my own way.
All right. Interesting. All right. So you're saying you're raised by monks? Do you want to roll anything for like your parents, or are you just gonna go with a flat orphan, know nothing about it?
So I only know that they were prestigious people under the order. So I have a high expectation of where I should be, and I'm trying to always meet that goal. However, I have some very big flaws, such as I'm not understanding of other races. So joining the group is actually understanding how I should integrate with others.
Okay, fair enough. Don't worry, I think half the group is Sihanouk, technically speaking. So you should at least be mildly comfortable. All right, everyone, let's roll over to like your home environment, what the location was, the atmosphere, how they felt about you and your family. So, Maxwell, what you got?
Just so you know, I realized that I should actually still roll for my deceased mother, which gave me some understanding about who she was. She ended up being Manitorn, and then what later died, and she did like me, so that was nice.
Perfect. Anything that builds the story.
Okay, so for the home environment, we got within the species territory. We have general location, large city, location, atmosphere, content, and town or tribe attitude, dislikes me and my family.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was a real fun one.
All right. So you can figure out what your family did to kind of create some contention in the town. All right.
Oh, wait.
So for me, my family actually was liked before they were killed by others. I'm trying to figure out where they actually fell in the line of everybody else.
Okay, cool.
And just trying to live up to the expectations of others right now.
All right. Got some good story hooks going there. Love it. Alex.
So I was raised in the wilderness, so I'm guessing I spent a lot of time traveling. The locations that I'm guessing the trade paths they traveled on was a revolting location, was in a revolting population. So I'm not sure I'm work with that yet. My character is seen as a hero or a prized child. A little amusing.
I can imagine that. You're like artificial life.
And apparently, people like my family. So apparently, I am not seen as the abomination I should probably be treated as.
So you're not Frankenstein.
I am not Frankenstein.
You're more Shale, watching over the pigeons.
People do not believe I will become Skynet.
Golub Skynet. Ooh. Okay, play with that later. All right. Megan, what'd you get?
I just rolled. So it turns out that I was born in a trading town inside of my territory, which makes sense since my father is a merchant. There is a general discontent going on in my current area, my current little town, which would make sense since my sister, became a criminal. The entire town dislikes my family.
Ooh.
Though they do get along with me. So apparently my dad is probably a very underhanded merchant. Must be where my sister gets it from.
Ooh. All right, you got a little criminal empire going there.
Yeah, that apparently I'm not a part of.
Good job breaking away from the family profession. Vivacia, what have you got going?
Well, I got outside the species territory in the wilderness, but it's a content, whatever, little tiny settlement. And I rolled hero, prize, child, which then once we went then and pulled the cards, it kind of came a little better together. But I'm thinking that I was actually taken away from my birth family and raised in like a small community, as for some reason I am the prize child of these two, and I know about them, but I've never met them. And that's how I then connected to the glory thing is I want to impress my family and I want to reunite with my family, so that I can figure out why I was separated from them.
Okay, very interesting. I like it. Night Sky, where have you been going? Oh wait, you actually gave me yours already, right?
Yeah, unintentionally. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Everyone's excited here, right?
But did you want me to give it to you again?
I think
Now that you're ready for it.
I've got it written down. We're good.
All right.
Schleria. Am I pronouncing that right, by the way? I don't know. Dead loser?
Yeah, I don't see her picture anymore.
I mean, she's still technically on the call. Might just be unavailable. All right. I will skip past her for now. And now we get to jump into personal history. One of my favorite sections. So many hooks, so many crazy things going on. All right. So, if everybody who hasn't done it yet can snag their 1 die 12. Maxwell, you said you had done this beforehand, right?
Yep.
All right. While the people prep, let's hear your story.
Oh, sorry. Are you talking to me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So we had on a black card, it was a 6, so we have made an enemy. Then we had 2 red cards for improved skill and hidden location.
All right. So, hidden location. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I figured something that would connect my character's practicing of time magic. The fact that the ruins in Citadel appear to be aging backwards. Maybe potentially a secluded building somewhere in Citadel that I guess is within this large city, perhaps, that has aged backwards far faster than the surrounding ruins. Maybe it's a complete structure almost. And that's potentially where my character and his father live.
Okay. All right. I'm liking that. Cool. Cool. I can definitely see something going for that. Yeah. Let's utilize that. Actually living in it, huh? I could see something like a hidden basement under your house type of thing. Maybe found your way into it by accident.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you were living in a place that somehow was aging way faster, I feel like all the Seonox would be all up in that, studying that structure. So it would have to kind of be
right.
Kind
so
of be
just
hidden away.
Like perhaps like found it in the basement, as you say, but maybe like it's expanding a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can go for that.
I'm just picturing you buy some milk that went rancid at the market, take it home, put it in the cupboard, pull it out the next morning. It's good.
We've found a loophole.
Love it. All right. Alex, have you done your rolling beforehand, or are you doing it right here live?
I just rolled it a minute ago, and I rolled a 12.
Oh, dear.
I
Okay.
do not have a deck of cards, so...
All right. So I do have a deck of cards right here. And I'm going to have the audience throw out some numbers, and they will be deciding your fate.
Oh, better than if I decide my fate.
All right. Anyone who is hanging out in the audience, feel free to throw us some numbers, and I will pull out 6 different cards. Maybe get lucky. Maybe they'll be red.
Maybe I won't start with negative money this time.
We actually kind of removed that system. Now you just zero out. You no longer have a debt.
That's good.
Okay,
Too many
Driplux.
people starting out in debt.
We thought it'd be fun for storyline purposes, but it never really got used properly, so we're just like, eh. Vivacia, love you throwing in the 13 there. I'll substitute Dridlock's as 47. All right, so I've got 7, 14, 23, 4, 52, and 13. So let's see what that pulls out.
Come on, red cards.
I want to see a Joker. Cross my fingers for a Joker.
Or if it's
I'm
gonna
just glad that you're not the person that's doing it because you have the worst luck.
especially when it comes to character creation.
Okay, I'm going to go from the back because these have a sudden jump from 23 to 52.
The fact that there's such interesting options present in the cards, it just kind of makes me want to just keep making characters over and over again to see if you can get cool ones.
Right. Hey! Whoever Foxfire is, welcome and thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. You get to hang out just in time to see what Steel Fox has in store for his fate.
That's Mr. Vivacia.
Ah, Mr. Vivacia. All right. So, okay, there we go. First off, Black 8. Starting with the fun. Serious illness. You will recover, but you lose 1d6 times 100 vials for medical treatment. Good thing we
Wasn't that a
ruined the
familiar
concept.
one? And I rolled a 5.
How are you always sick? How do you get sick? Did your oil stop?
I think you just
Hardware
need spare
malfunction?
parts constantly.
Right?
Need like
it
a
was
magic
actually
upkeep?
Something, it was actually something really small, but because my internals are mechanical, it's really expensive to find someone to fix it.
Okay, I just want to note something I just noticed. So I did your 8 first, but you have a 6, 7, and a 9, all in the same suit.
You should have shuffled better.
Good luck, bad cards.
You all gave me that throughout. Because of this just so crazy weird combo, I will let you substitute these out for one of the supernatural Joker level of curses. Or you can take all the small stuff. Your choice.
Yeah, I'll just go with what the cards gave me.
Okay. Just because it almost feels like the Jokers want to appear. They just couldn't. All right, so your 6. Enemies. You have made an enemy. They will not go out of their way to hunt you down, but they will not help you and may try to hinder you when you cross paths. So I'm going to note that you have an enemy. All right, the 7. You were attacked by a wild creature. This will not cause permanent physical injury, but leave psychological scars. You must roll a willpower to not act rashly to the same creature in the future. So, what attacks an artificial being?
Quarry mites.
Hmm?
They're like termites, but they target stone.
What? They eat rocks? Is this real?
They are this world.
Well, now I know why I had to go in for the serious illness.
Yeah, no kidding. All those words got disrupted. Oh, this could tie in fun too. Addiction. Can be this any substance the narrator approves. You must roll the willpower to resist the substance.
I'm still writing down the Cremites.
Hybrid oil.
That should totally be a lubricant. Yes.
Yes. What am I addicted to?
That you maybe if you drink it you can move more smooth
Like WD-40.
instead of kind of
Yes, he wants
got
the high
RA.
value.
Okay, so I'm thinking something like he's addicted to vegetable oil, but it's not actually good for him. He's supposed to stick with more like a crude oil or something insides.
Do you just like the smell of it better, or
No, it tastes way better than normal oil. Come on, guys.
like
Tastes
coconut
delicious.
oil, all of this yummy stuff compared to like crude oil.
All right, now you did get a couple red cards to balance you out. You got a red 2, so you won an award. You received some honor from a group of some sort and will be remembered for it in circles that place significance on that particular acknowledgement.
Okay, I'm not sure what that group is, but I will figure that out later.
All right, well done to your story. I also wonder, like, did the master get the award and you thought it was yours?
Well, apparently I was a prized creation, so...
Apparently. And last, you got Traveler, which actually fits well with your story. You're well-traveled and have a great sense of direction. Add 2 to any roll to find direction or figure out where you are. All right, got all that down?
Enemies, a terrified, addicted, illness. Yep.
All right. Megan, did you say you actually have a pack of cards nearby?
no?
Oh, so
You
we're,
gotta be my card game.
we're leaving it up to fate, huh?
Yep, sure am. Okay, so I rolled a 2, which, cut that in half. I get 1 card.
Oh, only
Just
one?
one. It's
Only
because
one?
I'm so young.
Okay. All right, crowd. What does the 1 card gonna be? Ignore my English there.
We're supposed to English well?
Sprachen de Deutsch?
Natürlich, da bin ich doch geboren.
Nine.
Born and raised. I'm German.
There you go. Could let Dreadlocks have some fun on this one, Viv. Does he have a 56-sided die? If he's gonna roll a die for it, how does that... whatever.
As long as he doesn't start creating math problems for you to figure out to get the number. 3 times 4
Probably rolled like
divided by
2d6
2
or something.
plus 8.
Right. Oh, hey, percentile die. Yeah, okay.
He is so smart.
All right. So let's get 16.
Be something fun. Not necessarily good, just fun.
That's a black card. You gotta pull the 5. Whoa, nice.
Red ace. So,
Oh, that's a good one.
favor. You have a powerful person of influence or a group that owes you a favor. The details must be approved by the narrator, but this functions as an in-story bonus. What you thinking?
I'm going to say that there were 2 things that were taken out of the catacombs nearby that are being created. And they were both taken out of there by my sister to give to my father to sell. Well, I was able to retrieve one of them to give back to the catacomb, or back to the religious site before they were able to sell them, but the other one was sold, and that's the one I'm looking after. So
There you go. There you go. So would it be your nearby town that kind of owes you the favor, or like a specific group, like a research society that is interested in the object?
I'm going to say it's going to be a group of monks.
Group of monks? All right. I'll note that down for you. I should left myself more space for you guys.
So interesting.
All right. Yeah, I'm tying some pieces together here. It's all coming together real nice. All right, Viv. Pre-rolled, right?
Yes, I rolled a 9, so I had to do 4
Mhm.
of them. I actually got a black card and a 10 for a stressful year. Then I rolled a red card and a 7 for a great romance.
Always fun.
Then I rolled what I got a red card and a queen for a natural talent. And then I got the red joker.
Ooh.
And I rolled a 2 for divine ruler. Which I then connected into this whole Christ child thing, because it says you have become the ruler, blah, 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 and they see you as divinely appointed. They know you were chosen by some divine power. So now I was thinking, I was orphaned. I was taken to a small settlement in the wilderness outside of the species territory. They think I'm the prized child, and now I pulled divine ruler. So I have to figure out how to connect this and why, these people in this small settlement thought that they had, that I had to be removed from the territory to be now whatever I'm supposed to be. That was how it then came together randomly. Like suddenly I'm the chosen one. What? This tiny goblin assassin.
Spinning wheel.
But the assassin was a random roll too, so that's what made it even more interesting.
Yeah, you've got quite the story brewing there.
It's a little crazy, yeah.
Do you have any ideas for how the divinely appointed child is suddenly running live as an assassin?
I'm not quite sure, but as the religion, I picked Calig, C-A-L-I-G. If you didn't change that
basically. Yeah, that
yes,
should still be the same.
Because that kind of made the most sense at that point. But I am not quite sure if I'm going to keep that, because I haven't quite. I wanted to see how everything else turn out before, because I'm like, this is like something that can be so boring, and we don't want to make it boring.
It's true.
I'm actually trying to find something that this group would think it's so super important, but the rest of the world is like, why? What? Huh?
Right.
So I'm not quite sure yet how I'm going to connect that to, but she wants to find her family, and she probably only knows what the people in that settlement told her, and they would only know what the people who brought her told her. So I don't know yet.
All right, I'm excited to see where that story goes. Okay, Night Sky, what do you have?
So I rolled an 11, so that's 6 cards, right?
Yep, this is the one place in all of Rupture where you roll up, because we like more chaos.
So I drew 6 cards, and I got the Queen of Spades.
So that would be a Black Queen, tragic
which is
romance.
Tragic romance.
Mm-hmm.
I got the, and this is funny because I got the Ace, Queen, and Jack of Hearts.
Wow.
And the King of Diamonds and a red Joker.
Getting close to a nice royal flush over there.
Yeah. And then when I rolled it, it was the 9, which I believe was prophetic dreams.
Yep, you're given visions or dreams of things that have, are, or will happen that you shouldn't logically have information about. Some supernatural or divine being sees fit to bless you with the gift of sight. That should be fun.
It could be, or it could really mess with her head.
As they do. All right, remind me of the other cards you have. That way I can make sure I've got all your details down, and I'm telling everyone on stream what's going on.
Okay, so it was the Joker and the Queen, the Black Queen you got, right?
Yep.
So then I had the King of Diamonds.
So you had a hobby. You have passion and become quite good at something. So take a note, you'll get to add 1 die 4 to any new skill.
And then I have the Queen of Hearts.
Natural talent. You have a knack for excelling at your trade. +2 to a class skill. So when you actually get your class figured out.
And
Hey,
then
Eddie.
the Jack of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts. Follower. You have a shadow who is helpful, whether a servant, equal, or some other relationship. This person is loyal to you, and they are there to be the wind beneath your wings. So you have someone who is assisting you or helping you in some way, shape, or form. Want some time to think on that?
Well, I wondered about making it her twin once she's found her.
Okay. We can probably work that in pretty fast.
But I don't know. I mean, I can think on it a little more, but that's as far as I've gotten so far. So.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, take some time
it
to
would
think.
make sense since they were devoted to each other, you know?
Right, I get it. Think on that and we'll just take everyone's everything together here in just a minute and so we can get the full picture of the character so far. So think on it and we'll see if Schleria has reappeared. Maybe? Oh no. Hello? Are you there? Quick, somebody roll perception. All right, looks like
I only got a 6.
I rolled an 11.
Well, sadly, none of us are skilled enough to see her right now. She hasn't appeared. Well. All right. So, before we head over to advantages and disadvantages, let's take your character's history as it is right now. Just give me the...
But she's muted.
Oh! Schleria, you've reappeared. Welcome
Just
back.
muted. We can't hear you.
But she has no mask anymore.
Yeah, she's in the car now.
Right.
But she's still muted, so.
Still muted.
Can you hear me?
Hey,
Yes!
there you go.
Oh no,
Okay.
there she is.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Have you been hearing what's been going on, or you back? Yeah.
Kind of back and forth. So the cards that I had drawn for it were the Queen of Hearts.
So a natural talent. You get +2 to a class skill, which will be when you select your class, you have 6 skills that go with it. So you get to be a little bit better than normal.
I had the Two of Spades.
2 of Spades, black card, crime and punishment. So somewhere you did some crime, and you're gonna have to either spend some jail time or pay a prison fine. So you roll a die 12 to figure out just how bad it was.
So I had rolled my die,
Uh-huh.
and it was 4.
4. So a major crime. You ended up spending 1 die 12 divided by 2 years in prison.
This bad girl.
Right? So would that be a monk's prison?
Yeah, I had too many thoughts of my own.
I don't know.
That's
if
a
monks...
major crime.
I can't have too many thoughts of my own. I have to keep to the scripture and then keep to saying namaste and this is what I need to do.
You have some pretty strict monks there. All right.
It is very strict.
Did you roll for how many years you ended up in prison?
So I rolled and it was 2.
Okay. So I guess 2 years spent going Om and Namaste?
And I'm enlightened.
Yeah, that would do it. All right. What else did you have?
I had a 6 of diamonds.
6 of diamonds. So that would be a red card. Connections. You can pull strings with a group of some significance due to your good reputation with them. This connection is a benefit to your character accomplishing their goal. The narrator must approve the details. Who is your group that you have a connection with?
It's with the group of monks that I have established after enlightenment. But before I actually go and meet everybody else, because my next step is actually to bring followers that are outside of our commune to actually understand the runes and the scripture and understand what's going on our piece of land.
Okay, sounds good. Good connections. Did you have any other cards?
I had a 4 of spades.
4 of spades, black card. Victim of a violent act. This will not cause permanent physical injury, but leave psychological scars. You must roll the willpower to not react rashly in a similar scenario. So what kind of scenario were you in that was a violent act?
It was when my sect had understood that I was different than the rest of them. They didn't understand exactly how I was different. However, they understood that I needed to embellish and understand what was going on with the universe to be able to fully develop my powers as a monk. So they would beat me and actually tell me what I needed to do to follow the sect.
Okay, so sort of like a strength training thing, where it's basically, yes, you're getting hit, but you need to ignore the pain and not acknowledge it, type of thing. Is that what you're kind of going for?
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm gonna say you have to roll willpower to not react rashly to a similar event in the future. So you realize if you're being attacked, that might actually overlap.
Okay. When I rolled, it was an 8.
No, this is based on the storyline. When a similar event pops up in the future, or the storyline, you'll have to roll a willpower, or you may berserker or run away in fear, or it kind of depends on how you react to it. Which I could see for a well-trained monk, you may end up more berserkering and kind of losing some of your sense of self, maybe.
Makes sense.
Okay. All right. Any other cards?
No, there were another.
Sorry, say again?
No, there were another.
Okay, perfect. Let's tie it all together. So, Maxwell, your kind of your character's history and, your parents, your town, kind of what brought you to this point. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so I figure since the dad is a scholar and the mom's an adventurer, I figure this obsession with the history of the Seanox and the belief that they hold that this world is not the world they are native to runs specifically in the family, and it's probably not a view that anyone around them in Citadel ascribes to, and that's why my character and their family is disliked and probably regarded as like kind of nuts or heretical for these sort of views, or maybe they just think this pursuit is like foolish. So I figure the reason that my character would be obsessed with pursuing this historical research would come from the father, who is a scholar, and the mother, being an adventurer, probably set out to search for things that would be of use to this family in their study of trying to understand the origins of their people, but went missing on one of these adventures trying to find something like that. Um, the general location being a large city, from what I've read about Citadel, I'm not sure where that, maybe like around the dome is where the largest population would be. I'm not too sure about large cities in Citadel. And yeah, so I figure that they probably, my character and the family either have a reputation for and why they're disliked is because they're all about this crazy nonsense about trying to find like the real home of their people, or stuff like that, or they perhaps know that and whether they know it or they like spread it as a rumor, is that my family also practices like illegal magics, which he does. But whether they know that's true or not is just another reason to dislike this family that is on this wild goose hunt that is maybe heretical to some people, maybe a problematic line of insight. I don't know.
All right, very fun. I'm liking it. Alex, with all your pieces, how does your story tie together?
Okay, so my character, Bell, which is why I've decided to name him, he apparently has a constant little ringing sound that comes from within him. He was created by a traveling wizard who usually traded in magical ingredients or materials. Because of this, he spent most of his time traveling from one place to another in the wilderness. And he actually became rather well known as being this oddity amongst many other different practitioners of magic, just due to the strangeness of him being a stoneborn that was made instead of being born from the mountain. This has also created some envious enemies over time. But although it has created some envious enemies over time, it has also created some allies, and has even earned his creator some awards. I am going with that idea of yours of the reward wasn't actually for him. When turmoil started happening around the towns that he traveled in, his creator decided that maybe he would try to create a second construct like him, just to have some extra help, another pair of hands, be a little safer. But instead of creating a second one, well, he didn't fully understand how he created bells, so he ended up screwing something up and shredded his own soul, turning himself into a Manatorn. Since then, Bell has been traveling on his own and unsure what happened to his original creator and not really knowing what to do with himself.
All right. Very interesting. So, where in the story did your quarter mites come in? Where in the
that was a fairly recent thing.
Love it.
I'm assuming that was within like the last week or two before we pick up in the campaign.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, I also figured out his addiction. He has an addiction to greasy food. He likes it because it's greasy, which should be good for him, but because it's soaked in food, it's not.
Love it. Love it.
But it tastes so much better than just straight oil.
I would imagine so.
Fun fact, just looking at the target number for the will check and my character's willpower, I need to roll a 12 in order to make that check.
Ooh, good luck.
Greasy food is going to be fun around this character.
So, any fairs, festivals, large cities?
Yes.
Just beelines right for the fried food stands.
So we need to leave him outside of town, minding the camp. Right?
Right. All right. Megan, what is your story when all put together?
All right. So my story is that I grew up in a small trading town. My mother was the daughter of a farmer, and my father was a merchant who ended up asking her for her hand. Then after she had her two children, me and my older non-binary sibling, um, there was a point where the two of us were in grave danger, and she pulled upon uh, the magic that she had within her, and ended up becoming Manitorn, and she lost her life.
Ooh.
Uh, so my sister started helping my dad around, or sister. Oh my gosh, I don't know why this keeps coming out as a female. I'm very sorry.
I
But
mean, the non-binary is just a guide. I mean, technically speaking, if she was presenting female, your choice, your story.
uh, she's presented female like the last 3 times that I mentioned her, so I'm just gonna go ahead and change it as female. um, anyway, my sister was old enough to help out around the shop and was able to help my dad out, but I was still too young, so I would go out and play in the ruins outside of town. Eventually, some monks moved into the ruins. They worshipped Juna. Is that how you pronounce his name? Junica.
Junka.
Junka. Okay, so they worship Junka, the god of time, and at some point, my father falls into poverty, and he needs to make a sale. Otherwise, we are going to lose our home. So he persuades my sister to go into the ruins and take a pair of artifacts so that he can sell them. She brings them back. They end out selling one of them. Before I noticed that the artifacts were gone, my friends told me. And I went and got the other artifact and brought it back. Because of that, the monks owe me a large favor. They feel indebted to me for being able to help return that artifact to them. And my goal is to go out into the world and find the other artifact once it was sold, resold. I don't know where it is, but we're going to find it. It's going to be great. The entire town obviously dislikes my family for stealing these artifacts, but they have they have a liking towards me because I went and got them back. That is my character. She's young, she's bubbly, she's out there to save the world, or so she thinks. It'll be great.
Love it. All right, Viv. What's your story when it's all together? Have you kind of figured out all the gaps and put it all together?
Well, kind of.
Okay.
Now, since she is a goblin assassin, and she grew up in the wilderness, and she was removed from her birth parents, and she actually, or maybe even all of them, follow Kalik, which is the goddess of darkness and secrecy, which is also a female goddess. So I'm thinking maybe she was removed from her family because maybe there's a prophecy, maybe there was something that she was supposed to do something. And now I'm thinking that maybe the person who knew what exactly she was supposed to do died without sharing what it was. And that she's kind of hot-headed and she just didn't want to wait. Maybe it was actually something that came from the goddess or from one of the priests. And she set out on her own to find her family and find out what it was instead of waiting for the goddess to speak again. So that's kind of what I was thinking, and that's also how I chose the advantages and disadvantages. I chose that she's very impulsive, but super sneaky. I was gonna go with quick learner, but then I was wasting a point, and I'm like, so and that's I think is why she left the area that she was, golden child, blah 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 blah, to make her own way and see, is fate really what I got to follow? Do I actually have fate, that I have to fulfill? Do I have a destiny? What actually did my family think about all this craziness? So yeah, maybe, you know, that's how that goes. I have not quite decided yet why I'm an assassin. Maybe because that's what you learn when you follow this goddess, or you know, maybe that's what whoever the priest or priestess who was in charge of this little settlement, you know, was, and that's what she taught me. I guess I gotta still kind of figure that one out, how that fits in the bigger world.
Awesome. And hey, Vince Havoc, thanks for subscribing. Hope we are entertaining you with crazy character backstories. Love it. All right, I think we've got some really fun connections there and a really nice fleshed out story. Night Sky, what have you got?
Okay, so I know that her parents are orphaned and they were living in a town which I have not named at all. um and the family was liked by the town, so I know that it would be weird being a hybrid. They're not really supposed to be, you know. But I would say, you know, my thought was that you know, they were in like a, because it says rural, so you maybe they're in the outskirts of a forest or something. And you know, my character is big on, you know, like learning herbs and stuff. And my sister was a mage. My mom was, you know, the fairy noble, and her father was, or their father was a gnome soldier. So maybe, you know, her mother and father met in a forest, and so they didn't want to raise their kids somewhere that they would be, you know, looked down upon for being, you know, a mixture that's not common. So they moved them to the edge of this forest where the village liked them because, you know, the girls were, you know, kind and learning how to help other people. And she's got the tragic romance. So I'm thinking maybe when her sister went missing after her parents died because of her grief, that my character, I still have to name her, that she maybe broke things off with her ex to hunt for her sister. And so, you know, her ex and his family are bad mouthing her because they don't approve of the fact that, you know, she didn't stay and do what they wanted to, you know, instead of taking care of her, you know, looking for her sister. And I still haven't figured out, you know, I wondered about the favor being maybe, you know, from her mother's family. You know, since she was a noble, maybe she, you know, they feel that they do owe each of the twins a favor, you know, since they, you know, cast them out basically for being different. And, you know, I'm assuming that, you know, she's been trying to find her sister, and that's what leads her across the party.
Okay.
So,
Very interesting. Sounds good. All right, Schleria. And am I pronouncing that correctly? If you're still there and listening. Halfback?
She's probably still in the car.
Right, right. I mean, we do the best with what we got. All right, if I don't get her in the next few seconds, I will take us on to advantages, disadvantages, and let her catch up. All right, let's jump over to advantages and disadvantages. Before we really get into this, being is where the numbers start to get crunchy and you really get to start putting stats to your character, does anybody want to take like a 5-minute break, or are we all good to keep going?
Bio break would be very much appreciated.
I'd like to take a minute to grab some water.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll reappear in about 5 minutes then, if that sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. on and transition back to main. Now, of course, I have to be coughing during all that. Hey, and we are back to the fun. So, can everyone still hear me? Everything's still running good?
Yep.
Yep.
Ah, why did people's cameras move? Alright, I'm going to... it all moved again. What is going on? Different person wants to enter. Maybe that's Schleria? Hey! Back at home?
Yes.
Perfect. That should make everything much easier.
Yes, very much.
Okay. Alright. Have you been kind of keeping up with what's going on, or do you need to kind of catch up?
Dad says to unmute Streamlabs.
Streamlabs is not muted. I don't know. We have to snag him. Apparently they can't hear us again.
Puppies,
Because, you know,
come on, babies.
that's just how it's going today.
First time for
yeah.
everything.
Right? Like, I have nothing muted, but apparently... Oh, they can hear me now. I don't know. I don't know. If anyone out there in the crowd just knows more than me, please help. Okay, back to the fun. All right. Schleria, did you have a chance to kind of figure out where your character's at and kind of put the whole story together? All right. Would you like to share that? Hey, people moved again. What the heck?
Yes. So, hello. My character, she was an orphan monk, raised obviously by the monks. However, she had a very strong personality. So she was in the learning phases of getting to understand other individuals, which is how she was able to meet the group, because it was an assignment to actually meet and understand how others would actually perceive how the ruins are actually formed and being able to be their guide. I was orphaned, obviously. I didn't know much about my parents other than that they were in high regards, and that is why the monks took me in.
All right. So I'm kind of seeing your monks and Megan's monks kind of being the same group. I feel like there's some strong interaction there that could be utilized in the story.
That actually was my question, is if they were specifically Junka monks. So that would be nice to know.
Yeah, I could see them kind of interacting together, and I'm kind of that bond in between where they raised me. However, I had too much of an attitude, so they were trying to bring the narcissistic type of attitude back a little bit by joining forces with other people.
All right. Very interesting. Okay. All right, like I said, we're now in the more number crunchy section. So let's talk about advantages and disadvantages. So if everybody wants to move over to page 51. Is everybody familiar with how to do this? I mean, regardless, I'm going to explain it because this is a character creation stream. So what ends up happening is the players here have a couple pages of advantages, which give pluses, and disadvantages, which give minuses. They have to equal out their numbers, and they're allowed to take as many or as little disadvantages and advantages as they want, as long as the number equals 0 at the end. Now, if they're having trouble actually making the math work, if they have too many bonus points, then they can lose some skills that they will be rolling for here soon. And if they have too many disadvantage points, they can actually gain some extra skills to kind of balance them out. So, give everyone a little bit of time to look over it. If anybody is ready to kind of share what they did, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I'll just kind of talk about various advantages. Oh, Viv! Sorry, I'm interrupting your snack. I cannot hear you.
Your microphone probably switched or something.
Maybe the kid knocked out the wire that you were thinking was going to be a problem. Ah! I'm hearing some scratchiness, but no. All right. Does anyone else have advantages and disadvantages figured out while...
How about now?
Oh, hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's coming from the webcam when I have to, figure this out later on the headset. So
I'm
I
dubbing
kind of
tonight,
already, I already kind of gave it away when I was talking about it. So because I decided that she was going to be a hothead, so I chose impulsive, which is -3 points, and then I was going to go as a quick learner, but then I realized there's no extra at this 1 point. I didn't know that they would go to skills, so I switched it over to sneaky, so that she now has to roll for willpower, so she doesn't just blindly jump in every time there's a situation there, because she's impulsive, but she gets +3 to every stealth roll because she's sneaky.
Love it. Love it. All right. Anybody else? What are you looking over? What are you thinking?
I got... Oh. You can go ahead, Alex. Oh. All right. Okay. I went nuts with this whole section. I was like, every single slot is like filled out for advantages and disadvantages. So we have I'll do like one positive and then one negative just to keep things interesting. Okay. So the first positive I chose, the advantage was magical flow. I think that tracks for a Sihanouk mage. And that's going to be mana points times 6 times the mana base rank. Then for a -3, we have phobia. And I feel like that can be... I just wrote down inquisitors. I feel like that's an adequate phobia for a practitioner of illegal magics.
Oh, yeah. That's a very good fear. I've... Sean Dridlocks designed the kind of the way the Inquisitors act. So he made them pretty scary individuals. Like, we didn't really canonize it within the book. That way they could be the interpretation of the narrator at the time. Mm-hmm. But I'll probably steal his designs because, oh yeah, they're some pretty scary individuals.
I like that. Yeah, because I figure... well, like, the Princians might not be like super present in Citadel. It seems like the Princians also send out people to hunt down people that practice the illegal magics. So, and it doesn't sound like the town would be of good help either, since they don't like me or my family.
Yeah, just one rumor.
Yeah, just a rumor. We chose Quick Learner. That being related to being the son of a scholar. We took compulsive, which is a -4 disadvantage. I figured that compulsion would be like, there is some element of truth to people saying that the family has an obsession with pursuing this thing they're pursuing about the origins of their people, history. So if something crops up where there's like a lead or like a decision that needs to be made, the compulsion would be to pursue the course of action that would enable this character to acquire that information or historical relic or whatever, like pursuing their goal in a sense, is their compulsion. They're compulsed to pursue this obsession. We have quick reflexes. That will make more sense later as to why we chose +4 to any weapon skill. Wait a minute, weapon skill. I might have read that wrong. That might have been a mistake. We'll talk about that later. Toxin susceptible is one we chose. For whatever reason, that may be maybe just unlucky with genetics and their relation to toxins. And for another negative, we chose Berserk, a fun one. I kind of relate that to the magical flow, while being like more magically enabled. Maybe that magic becomes just a state of preserving the vessel. If things get that bad, like the magic coursing through this character takes on a will of its own, and that's just self-preservation. And we had the self-disciplined advantage. So I guess my question about the skill would be, at any point in the rest of character creation, is there going to be a point where we are choosing a skill to add to the skills we already have? Or if it's like +4 to any roll of a weapon skill of choice. Oh wait, that's just going to apply to every weapon, right?
So you will be given the chance later on, as we get more into the number crunch, to actually, you'll roll 2 dice 6s, I believe. I'll look that up in a second. And you get to add some extra skills. You can boost up your class skills, or you can pick up new skills if you want. And that +4 will do to any one weapon skill of your choice. So if you pick up knives, you can have +4 to knives.
Okay, so it's not +4 to any roll of. Okay, so it's just one weapon. Perfect.
Yeah,
okay, that's got it. Okay, cool. And if that was base 0, if you need a skill to get points put into that skill?
You are allowed to take skills at 0. You can actually, if
Okay.
you felt so inclined, take every single skill and keep track of every single one as you get the little tick marks to upgrade them.
Gotcha. Cool.
All right.
Sadly, there's no sheet for doing that yet, as far as I can tell.
You know, it's low on the priority list. It will arrive eventually. Or if someone out there feels so inclined to go create it for us, I would never object to that. But eventually.
Say, don't tempt Alex. You know he'll make it.
I'm already thinking about it.
Anyway, all right. Does anyone else have their advantages, disadvantages figured out, or is there any questions I can answer for anyone?
I can figure it out. All
right.
I'm still trying to balance the math.
All right. Have fun with that. Let me know if you need any help.
So I'm thinking of Bell as being a very almost slow character. He has a hard time getting himself up and going due to the nature of the fact that he is essentially powered by the ambient magic around him. He tires out quickly. So he has the easily tired. So after doing anything strenuous, he has to rest for a 1d12 rounds. So a few minutes just to kind of get himself back on his feet. He also has slow, so he gets a penalty when he tries to run, and slow react, which gives him a penalty on initiative.
Okay.
So I kind of doubled down on he does not get around or do anything quickly. I gave him noisy because, well, he jingles. Also, he has a habit of glow. The glyphs on his body have a habit of glowing brighter whenever he focuses on something, which does not do well when you're trying to sneak around.
Fun detail. Love it.
And I give him Berserk. As he is injured and wounded, the glyphs on his body will slowly be damaged. When enough of them are damaged, he just kind of loses control of himself until he's injured enough that he just collapses. As for the advantages I took Dumb Luck, mostly because I want to see if Dumb Luck is as strong as I think it is mechanically.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think it's I think it has a lot more value in it than it's given credit for personally, but
So
That's just
to
me.
to clarify for the watchers, dumb luck is the skill that you may re-roll any failure except for critical failures, but only once, and you must take the second value. So I appreciate testing that in a real-time environment.
I took Jack of all trades and Quick Learner. Jack of all trades gives me 1d4 more skills every level up, and Quick Learner lets me rank up a skill after only 8 successes instead of 10. Just kind of represent the time he has spent learning and while he's traveled. And I took Magic Flow to once again represent the way that his body is innately built with magic.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And that is my advantages and disadvantages.
All right. Very nice.
I
So
really do love the glyph thing though, because isn't it with golems basically you can say your glyphs are your instructions on how you work, right?
What? Sorry.
So thinking that the glyphs are written on him, kind of like instructions on how he works, and then when he gets damaged, some of these instructions get damaged, and he can't follow through how to work anymore. I think that's such a cool thought.
And also, although I would need to clarify this, the narrator, I am kind of liking the idea of he's not actually healable through normal healing spells. You actually have to use the minor mending spell to heal him. But that's more of a narrator thing.
if you want to take that disadvantage, and I feel like once you get going, that really is going to be a disadvantage. I'd be happy to give you like 3 or 4 points worth if you want to like do a custom disadvantage. That way you can balance that out a bit.
Okay.
So will you decide to go down that route? Oh, before we talk about the rest of the disadvantages, we're kind of jumping the gun, but that's the nature of how this system works. Let me explain how skills work, because we've kind of touched on it with Maxwell and Alex here with the skills they've chosen. So, all of our skills that we have are levelable independent of the character. Basically, every time you have a success, you get a little tick mark, and there are, by base, 10 tick marks that you need to level up a skill. So let's say I'm an archer with the archery skill, and I do 10 successful bow shots. I actually can now become a level 4 in archery without having to level. Basically, it shows the growth of your character and how focused they are in certain skills. Now, certain advantages, like the Quick Learner, lets you only take 8. And we have a disadvantage somewhere that I think literally is just Slow Learner that makes it to where you have to do 12. In the same way, we were talking about with Maxwell, you can actually take a skill at level 0 and just do it enough to where eventually you get the tick marks and level it up. So you don't actually need to necessarily put points into a skill. It's just a lot faster, and it gives you the Kickstarter to, more successes, more points. Now, another fun part is critical failures. Not normal failures, but the critical ones will also level your skill at 5 ticks needed. Because, well, if you really screw up badly, you're probably going to learn something. Normal failures, you're not learning that much out of it. So that is the skill system and kind of what we're having fun with here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, with photographic memory, if you take that, then learned doesn't really help very much, does it? Because it's kind of a more advanced.
Okay, so how I would probably play it out is your photographic memory is things you've seen and you can instantly recall it. Learned would give you just a little bit of advantage to trying to comprehend or make connections. Like, yeah, you could have read the entire history of the Turalian Empire and its war with the Machanja Desert, but you would, if you had learned, you'd be able to understand better the strategies they used or the politics that were involved or the elements that went into it.
And then my other question was with impulsive. So is that like a jumping into everything blindly, or is that like situational, like the compulsive where there's, certain situations you're impulsive about jumping into?
So compulsive is for very specific situations. Impulsive is, it's just a generic, very wide, you don't think, you just go.
All right. I just want to make sure before I
Understandable. Anybody else have questions, or do they have their advantages and disadvantages figured out?
I'll make a quick clarification because I messed up. Actually, other people talk. Mine's not as important.
Same boat.
Oh, okay. So I finished my advantages and disadvantages. I went ahead and took the advantage friendly face, which allows me to have an increase in charisma whenever I'm trying to gain favor in somebody's eyes. I took gullible, which is it's a decrease in willpower when I'm being persuaded, which is pretty fair. She's very gullible. I took magically incompetent, which is going to change my mana. And then I also became a quick learner, which, like Kenny was talking about earlier, does affect my skill increase. So I only have to do 8 instead of 10. So those are the ones I picked.
Very nice. All right, Maxwell and Alex, what have you guys got going over there?
I just wanted to, real quick, because I misread what I had wrote. I took quick reflexes, not weapon expert. I thought I took weapon expert. I wrote quick reflexes. I just got that mental wire crossed. So to reiterate, my advantages are magical flow, quick learner, quick reflexes, and self-discipline. Disadvantages, toxin susceptible, compulsive, berserk, and phobia.
Okay, sounds good. I'm trying to refine the quick reflexes. Oh, is it combat reflexes? The +4 skill?
+5 quick reflexes.
Oh, there it is.
You get an additional action each initiative round.
Okay, perfect. Wow, we have combat reflexes and quick reflexes. Okay, cool. I learn new things about my own system every day. It's lovely. All right, perfect. Alex, what's going on with you?
So I decided I would go with the construct must be repaired, and I took high immunity, which gives me a fairly high bonus against disease to, once again, kind of represent the fact he's not flesh and blood. Diseases are going to have a naturally harder time doing anything to him.
Is rust considered a disease?
I mean, for him, probably.
Love it. Okay, sounds good. All right. I think we're just at Night Sky and Schleria.
So I think I figured mine out. So I am going to go with photographic memory, learned, observant, and jack of all trades, as well as magical flow, which should be a +20.
Wow.
And then I'm going to take slow to react, slow learner, impulsive, clumsy, compulsive, and phobia. Because she's processing so much information, it takes her a little longer to react to things. You know, because she can remember everything and she sees so much, and, you know, but it takes her a minute to process all that information and put together the best plan of action with all the information she's absorbing.
Okay, so a supercomputer, just a very old one. Okay, so what are you compulsive about?
Well, I was thinking about making it something along the lines of when she sees other hybrids who have family members missing or need help in some way, that she wants to jump in and help them because of the trauma that, you know, her family has been through. You know, her sister being missing after her parents died. And
Okay, sounds good. I like it. And the phobia.
I was trying to decide because she's not very big. She's only like, you know, I wrote it down. It's like a 1.5 feet tall. So when she's flying around, she's kind of scared of bigger birds.
Eagles, vultures.
Creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things that might be able to grab or eat her.
Okay.
So larger flying animals.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Very interesting connection there. I don't think I've seen anyone get past about 15 or so yet. I might be missing one of our streams, but congratulations. That's a pretty big amount to work with.
It'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm. It'll be fun. I'm excited to see how it plays out. Schleria. And am I pronouncing that right?
Yes.
Perfect. Be really awkward if I had listened this whole time. Okay,
Yes. No, you got it right.
love it. What have you got going?
So I had balance, stealth, discipline, high pain tolerance, combat reflexes, the quick reflexes, but then berserk, impulsive, one-track mind, and compulsive.
Okay. Yet again, I will ask, what is your compulsion about?
It's about being the best. So, as I said before, I'm kind of narcissistic, where the monks had trained me, and I'm told I'm one of the best, but I have some issues that I'm trying to overcome by getting to know other species and other people.
Okay. So, out of curiosity, so is it going to be just people being better than you at anything? Like, if your character walks into a bar and this guy in the corner is going, I can drink anyone under the table, your character going to go slam down and go, no, I got this.
Yes.
Okay, so basically any contest where someone is, like, challenging, you have to be better.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be challenging everybody. I'm going to be the best.
All right, that should be very interesting to see play out in the storyline. I'm excited. I'm very excited to
Bet
see
I
that.
can eat more fried chicken than you.
Oh, I don't know about that.
How do you digest? Really good
That's the
acid?
problem.
Actually, yeah. You just have a compartment that's full of acid. Like, All right. Any last advantages and disadvantages, questions, or thoughts? Or is everybody feeling pretty comfortable with what they chose?
There's one other little thing. I realized for personal history, there was made an enemy, but I didn't elaborate on that or ask you if you just wanted to take that and run with it.
Feel free to elaborate on that. If you give me as much detail as you want, and I'll play with it.
Sure. Probably something related to the Princian religion. With a phobia of inquisitors, maybe some sort of like Princian who is maybe an evangelist for their religion in Citadel and is like, I guess, opposes my character and maybe like is sort of like hounds my character for like trying to catch him with this illegal magic or whatever. Or perhaps an inquisitor has rolled through before that my character's aware of and maybe escape from, but I don't know if that fit because it says for enemy they may actively hinder you, or feel like an inquisitor wouldn't be a question of may.
No. Okay, so give me the connection. The Inquisitor unfortunately just does not work very well. They would hunt you till the end of days if they knew that you were an illegal magic user. So it would be feel like an evangelical type. How would they have come to know you? How would they be suspicious of you? Like, what made them?
Probably someone, whether it's a Sihanouk who, for whatever reason, has adopted the Princian religion, or a missionary from their religion that is in Citadel trying to evangelize or whatever. Trying to immerse themselves, not necessarily maybe from an educational perspective, or I don't know what Princians are like, but they're there ingraining themselves in the society, and then through that exposure, they hear rumors about this family that no one likes. Like, oh, it's those guys, practicing those weird magics and stuff. We don't just stay away. And they're like, weird magic? Wait a minute. So maybe something like that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I do like the idea of like a missionary that kind of became suspicious of you and is he's watching you. He's always watching.
Yeah, and maybe like they've had interactions before, but because my character is, when we get to magic, chose telepathy as one of the things, maybe has erased his memory a few times, or hers, the missionaries.
Mm-hmm.
They have like amnesia. We're just, wait a minute. Have I seen? I'm gonna catch this guy.
Okay, detail jotted down. All right. Any other questions, or are we ready to move to the next section? I'll take that as we're ready to move to the next section. All right, so I think most of you pretty much already have your class idea down, but over on page 71, it will be the start of it. We just recently alphabetized everything. So go find your class skills and what your class attributes are. Plus, you get to figure out your starting equipment there, and the skills you will eventually be able to utilize. You do not get your special class skills until level 3, 6, and 9, but good to take note of them.
So I had a question I wanted to ask about the skills.
Mhm.
Once again, asking if we can modify something.
I love how you're going into a new system and playtesting and are basically homebrewing. What you got?
That was one of the things that's supposed to be good.
That's true. It's true.
At least I remember it was a big thing when we were first working on it.
Well, that's definitely the goal. All right, what you got?
So skimming through the skills, there isn't a single class that has a crafting skill as one of its starting skills.
Fair enough.
So I was curious. I'm planning on doing the barbarian,
Mhm.
and I was curious if I could replace strength-based weapon skills with I think it's metalworking.
Let me scroll over to barbarian. That's interesting. That one feels like a pretty core skill to a barbarian. Like,
I mean, I intend to be using brawling.
Intend to be using brawling?
Yeah.
All right. Give me the story. Give me the story of your character. How you would have gone more into crafting than brawling if you're going towards barbarian as a construct.
Honestly, my guy's not really a barbarian. That's the problem.
That, like I said, story is what trumps everything in Rupture. If you can give me the good story or reason why, then I will totally go for it. If you need some time to think up the story or maybe get some crowd ideas over here on Twitch, I'm happy to let that go. But like I said, give me the good story. That's what I need here.
Just so you know, I swear I do harass him about all of this before he gets to you. So
good to know. Good to know.
All right, so it actually has to do with the way he is. Once again, going back to what he is, he's over time he's especially after he lost his master, he's realized that no one else really knows how he's made, which means if anything's damaged inside of him, he's pretty much the only one that can fix it. So over time, he's had to slowly learn how to make essentially replacement parts, especially for when he's badly injured. And from there, it's a pretty obvious step to learning to be able to make other things because, well, while you're at a town that has a smithy or something, it never hurts to make extra horseshoes or spare axe heads to make a little extra money or some extra vials to help you get to the next day or town.
Okay, and how does learning brawling and the kind of other stuff that kind of goes along with being a barbarian? You actually get a really nice one here because it's resist hot, cold, resist fatigue. You're a construct, so those are easy to work in. But like how do you get that barbarian side going?
Block and brawling, it's self-defense. He travels a lot.
So basically, you just kind of picked it up as you went?
Yep. And not only has he traveled a lot, he's recently been traveling through an area that is on the edge of going into a revolt.
All right, I can go for that. Go for it. You can switch out strength-based weapon fighting for crafting.
Okay.
All right. Everyone else, where are we at? Anybody want to kind of throw in what they're thinking or what they're doing?
I'm gonna be a druid.
Very nice. Always fun. Anything popping out at you? Any questions?
The only thing that I'm still trying to decide is like there's the nature magic, well, not the nature magic, but there's token creation, there's glyphs, and then there's like research and I'm still trying and relic creation. So I'm still just trying to sort out some of the difference between like glyphs and relic creation.
Okay, let me give you a kind of speed rundown of how magic works. So basically, when you start to learn magic, you are able to see the glyphs of the world. They are elements that appear around things that are related to the magic. So I'm going to take fire magic because it's a really easy one. If you were to see a bonfire or a candle and you started attuning to learning how to do fire magic, you would see glyphs related to heat, pressure, motion, all the basic components that make up fire. So with nature, you'd see glyphs related to that. When you have your glyph skill, that is spells, basically. You combine really simple glyphs together and you put your own kind of soul glyph attached to it, so you have a spell. These spells cannot just be cast, however, because they do too much damage to the mind and soul. That's how the Manatorn get created, among other ways. So you have token creation, which is you create tokens and you funnel the magic through that. A token can be anything you want it to be, as long as it has some connection to you, even if that connection is just preference. It could be a bracelet, a scarf, a wand, a stick, a shoe. Like, anything that you could cast the magic through is your token. So the token creation is making new tokens. You automatically start the game as a spellcaster with a token that can hold 5 spells and 5 spells. And that is what your nature magic is. It is one of the 14 schools of magic.
Right. So token creation lets you create tokens, relic creation lets you create relics, but what's the difference between the relics and the tokens?
Divine magic. So clerics and paladins create relics because to them it's channeling their god better, essentially. It's the exact same thing, it's just flavor and fluff. So
okay.
A relic is a token is a relic, though if you talk to a cleric or a paladin, they'll probably tell you otherwise.
Holy influence.
Basically. All right. Anybody else have questions or kind of want to share where they're at?
Well, since I went with assassin, I put in the basic things that were in there. I couldn't really, you got these nice drop-down menus right now, but Streetwise isn't in it.
Right, yeah, that is a skill we literally just added in the most recent update. The designer of that sheet, Walrus, has yet to catch up with us.
Yeah, I had a feeling like that. What I wanted to see is what would be my choices for the agility-based weapons skill.
So
I'm guessing daggers.
That's one of them, yeah. If you actually go into the agility section, the most recent manual update, we've marked everything that counts as an agility-based weapons skill.
Remember the page?
I don't know those offhandedly. How fast can I scroll? Page 86 of the manual. Of the PDF, it's page 94.
Okay, 94. So let me look at that. And then, never mind. Brain.
Okay, if you're sure. And yeah, as Dridlox has pointed out, it's not daggers, it's technically short blades is what you actually end up using. All right. Any other questions? All right. In that case, I'll leave you guys just a few minutes to work on that. I'm going to take a couple minutes to let's do some plugging. So for everyone watching, I hope you're having a fun time watching our character creation come along. We are currently, this is a playtest, technically speaking, though we are getting very near to the end. We are refining everything, getting everything polished up, but you can, as seen here, we've added a few new things right here at the tail end, trying to fix everything up and make sure it's as shiny and polished for our Kickstarter as possible. The Kickstarter is actually going to start in September. If you have magically found your way to us and not been involved in Rupture, go check out rupturerpg.com. And we actually have a special gift for everyone who is signed up for our mailing list before the Kickstarter actually starts. We have 2 exclusive classes that pretty unique and will be given to you for free as an add-on, just because you signed up, because you believed in us before it actually all started. It is the Sunborn and the Moonborn. They take on some unusual skills that would not normally go together in a class, but that's kind of their lot in life. They were given weird natural talents, so they tend to be kind of adventurers and wanderers naturally, and they kind of go out and do their own thing. But because of their unique birth, they have the ability to cast auras, and they are generally beneficial to those around them. So they also have some fun teamwork abilities if you are the type of person that likes to work with your friend and get some synergy going. So, as I get to the end of that plug, is anybody kind of... Oh, yeah, what's up?
So, I was talking about making her, phobia being about larger flying animals.
Yeah.
So would a hawk be larger, or would we be talking larger like griffin, wyvern, Pegasus?
I will leave you to decide that nuance, but I would need to know. I would probably go with something vaguely 2 or 3 times your size, like the larger breeds of hawks and eagles, because that'd be about the size where you'd kind of be in trouble.
Because it would be hard to have a hawk if, I'm scared of them.
True. Like I said, I don't care too much as long as you give me the details about it. So if you want it to be, it has to be 5 times your size, griffin type of creature, then go for it. If you believe that, hey, hawks are small enough that I could totally work with them, then go for it.
Okay. I think she'd be fine with hawks, but I think like the big things would be, because hawk, it should be about the same size as her, right? In theory.
Depends on the breed, but
like
yeah.
She could technically possibly even ride a hawk.
I'd allow it. I'll allow it.
But yeah, so I think like the bigger things, like eagles are quite a bit larger than hawks, and vultures as well. So maybe like you said, maybe like at least 3 times her size, or at least twice her size.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So anything much bigger than a hawk.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm looking at the whip skill. Now it says bladed ribbons. Is that, when you talk bladed ribbons, is that like an urumi, like where it has the blade handle and it has like these metal pieces that you just, like these flexible metal, or how do you guys imagine bladed ribbons?
Basically the blade on the end of like a rope-like object. So it'd be very much a the weights at the end, and you'd be controlling it from the center point, and very kind of agile and elegant. So
kind of like a bola, but fancy with knives.
Yeah, I mean, a bola is thrown where you'd be holding. You can
still, you can also use bolas if you don't actually let them go.
That's fair. That's fair.
The urumi is kind of like a knife, like a sword hilt, and then it has like flexible blades on it. They're like ribbons. So it's basically like a whip, but it's metal pieces. That's why I was kind of thinking, is that what we're talking about, or we're thinking about the fancy ribbon throw-in with knives at the end?
So
I'll have to think about that.
So we actually have a section in there on like flavoring your weapon. If you want to describe it that way, but just use the same stats as the bladed ribbon, then I have no problem allowing you to describe it as that's how you're using it and that's how you're fighting with it.
Yeah, like it's it's actually it almost looks like you have like the kids streamers that you have on the side of your bike, but they're metal and they have a sword hilt on the bottom and you whack people with it.
All right.
That's what an urumi basically is.
Do you know how to spell that? Let me look this up real quick.
urumi. They actually call it, I think in Hindi they call it an ara, but urumi is what I know.
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's still pretty close to a whip, I would say.
Yeah.
I can go for it. I can go for it.
Because I'm thinking, you know, this whole ribbon and knife thing might be a little too fancy for you know, my little goblin from the wilderness. But I'm thinking, you know, that, you know, using like a normal Indiana Jones whip would also be weird. So I'm thinking this would be kind of flexible, but still more, not aggressive, but you know what I mean, more, a little more brutal than, you know.
Than just a whip?
Yes, I am just not quite sure how they actually carry that without cutting themselves. That I will have to research. Yeah, but if you roll it up, wouldn't you cut yourself?
Right.
Would I need special gloves? That's why I'll have to research that. But I think that would be a pretty interesting weapon to use. That's, you know, whip like.
Yeah. Like I said, you can match the stats to any of the weaponry and just switch it out for that description. Okay. How's everyone else coming along?
So, question.
Yeah.
If you start a new skill, do you automatically have 1 point in the rank when you like purchase it, or do you just purchase the actual opening up the skill without any ranks in it?
No. By purchasing the skill, by putting a point in, you start at level 1. You can, like I said, you can take every single skill at level 0 if you wanted to. It is open right off the bat. So you do have that option if you feel so inclined. And eventually one of us will sit down and create a full every skill in existence sheet.
So we are rolling skills right now.
This is just grabbing your class skills.
Okay.
Mostly just clarification on that. It is, it's coming right up the way. I would also take note of your equipment, though I'll leave you guys to do that in your free time because there's really not much way to talk about that and make it entertaining. You can send me any questions on the Discord. All right. Has everyone kind of got their class skills down? Do they kind of understand what is going on? Any more questions that need any more time? Another one of those, I'll take it as a no. Is that a raising hand, Megan, or just adjusting?
No, sorry. That was me looking at the time.
Okay.
It's not you, it's me.
Yep. All right. May have to... Wow, this is taking longer than I thought it would. All right. Let's go a little bit faster. Let's get your guys' attributes. So, you can either do a point-buy system, or you can do a roll system. So, if you do rolls, then you just roll 8 die 6s and assign wherever you want. Be sure to account for the modifiers from your species. You cannot ever drop below 1, so even if you've got something ridiculous like a -8 and you roll a 6, then you're still just a 1. So don't worry too much about that. And point buy, let me find the very specific point in the book where we talk about that, because I think we changed it to make it a little more balanced. 32 points to distribute however you wish if you do a point buy. So just for the record, that would be among 8 skills, 4 each if you were to distribute evenly. The average human has about 3 in every skill. So that gives you the kind of the range about what is normal and average.
And what is the skill range? With 1 being the lowest, is there a cap number on the upper end of that?
So the sorry. At character creation, you in point buy, you cannot ever go above 6, but modifiers from your species or anything that was picked up in the backstory can let you go above 6.
Okay.
So yeah.
And it's 32.
32.
Got it.
Like I said, don't forget to account for your modifiers. Give everybody a few minutes to work on that. Does anybody kind of need a description of what any of the attributes involve?
Not really, but I wanted to roll so you guys can hear my metal dice.
Love the click-clacks.
ASMR. Ooh, 6, 6, and 6, 6, and 2, 2. I only have 4, so the metal dice are too fancy.
Right.
Oh, okay. 5. What is it? 5, 5, 4, 4. Dude, what?
It's pretty good distribution.
That was and they're kind of shiny.
Ooh, shiny. I like shinies.
All right, ASMR over.
Love it. All right, just so I keep the conversation going, I'm just going to pick one of you and kind of ask what your approach is while everyone else works. So, Maxwell, what is your approach? You kind of point by, or are you going to roll it up?
Point by.
Yeah.
Over point by.
Any particular reason, or just like the point by?
Well, I usually roll my dice, but I just looked at them and I didn't trust the look they gave me, so I decided to go with point by this evening.
Safe bet. Safe bet. I have horrible luck with dice rolls so often that I never trust roll dice unless I absolutely have to. So I do point by a lot. I like point by. It's safer. I'm in control.
Yeah. There you go. That's it.
Alex, what approach are you taking over there?
I'm also going with point by. I actually got my point by stats all put together and then decided just for the fun of it, I would roll them. I got 1 5, 2 4s, and everything else was 3 below with 3 1s.
Yeah, that'd do it.
So needless
I was gonna
to say,
roll. You're the worst luck. It's awesome.
I have terrible luck when it comes to rolling the attributes for characters. Like, to the point I've actually been in other systems regularly told to re-roll my attributes because they are unplayable.
Yeah.
It's a weird and annoying problem.
To that note, I'm going to use the same rule as Sean. If you end up with more than 3 1s, then just re-roll. Just re-roll everything. Your character is too weak to survive in the world.
Yeah.
So if anybody just got some really bad rolls, feel free to switch it up. But hey, Megan, what are you doing with the rolls?
I'm gonna do point by. I tried to roll and I got 2 1s and a couple 2s, and I was like, yeah, this isn't happening, so I'm point buying.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
The dice are not on our side today.
Mm-hmm. Vivacia, how are you approaching this? Oh, right, you did the click-clack math rocks. Ah! Oh no, someone disappeared on me. Oh, reappearing. And we're rearranged.
That is my fault because for some reason I got dropped out.
Okay.
It's like my internet dipped.
Yeah, give me... Alright, I'm going to focus on getting everyone back in their proper spots now.
I think you can actually rearrange them in the Zoom. Try rearranging us in Zoom in the right order instead of doing it on the stream. I think you can now grab it and actually reorder us in Zoom.
Okay, I can, but I don't remember where we're all sitting in Zoom is the problem. Well, I guess we'll slowly but surely figure this out. Let's see. Because I've been watching the OBS, not the...
On my screen, Megan's on Vivacia.
Yeah, I'm just gonna rearrange us all and call it good. How did... Oh,
I
do need to be Alex. I do need to be in Alex's spot because that's the bigger one. All right. Now proper rearranging.
I still have your spot.
I mean,
for me, like Megan and Alex, and then switched, and then Maxwell used to be in front of me, and now he's behind me, so it's all a little weird.
Right. All right. Gotta love the tech issues. Makes it to where I am never bored. I'd like to be bored, but I'm not.
Better this time than when we're actually playing, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Let's work it all out now. All right, is everybody comfortable?
Rule 3, Kenny. We have more than 3 people here. You know what's gonna happen.
You know, it's okay. So within our group, we have a joke of the we call it the LAN party rule, where if there's more than 3 people trying to play a game at the same time, there will be tech issues. This is tabletop. Shouldn't count.
clearly too much tech in this tabletop game.
Right. What did I just move? Okay. I'm going to leave you all to finish distributing because we only have about 20 minutes left. There's still a couple pieces to work on. So for those of you still working on attributes, keep working on that. For everyone else, it is time to calculate your action stats. So these numbers aren't too terribly hard. You can follow along in the book. There's a really quick version over on page 163 that just puts it really, really simple. And since you have it here for me to guide you, should be able to go pretty fast. So your life points. You're going to take your constitution, times it by 4, and add 10. That's your total life points for level 1.
You said Constitution times 4?
Yep.
Oopsie, I haven't adjusted yet for my race and stuff.
Oh,
Nice, 38 life points.
that's healthy. All right, everybody ready for wounds? So your constitution is your wound level. So if you were to ever take, let's say you have a constitution of 5. If you take any attack that gets through your armor and you are dealt more than 5 damage, you will take a wound of some sort. There's 3 levels of wounds. Each of them hinders you just a little bit more. And if you take too many of one type of wound, you get one of another type. So 2 level 1 wounds become a level 2 wound. 2 level 2 wounds, level 3. And if you get 2 level 3 wounds, you pass out. You are just knocked out until you are healed. You really shouldn't have been bleeding out that long, guys. Come on. All right.
So you did say if we get anything below 1, it will just be a 1 in the attributes, right?
Yes.
Because I rolled 2 for strength, and goblins get -2 for strength.
Yeah. It just zeroes out into
guess
1.
At a 0, I probably wouldn't even be able to walk.
Yeah, probably not. We don't play that game. There's no going below 0. Okay, now speaking of unconscious, that is your constitution plus 1. So that is going to be related to your life points. If you ever hit that number, you pass out. You're still...
So if your con is...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go for it.
So if your con is 5, then your unconscious is 6?
Yep. So if we ever get you low enough that you hit 6, you are going to pass out until someone heals you and gets you back up and running. If you hit 0, you die. So don't hit 0.
Right.
Now, we do let you actually get some natural healing. And that is equal to your constitution divided by 2. Rounded down.
How long does it take your healing to kick in?
I'm going to throw that to Sean. I believe it is an hour. That's how much you heal per hour. I cannot remember it 100% perfectly, though. So I will let him type it in the chat here in just a moment. Depends how far behind the stream he is. He'll figure it out. We'll get there. But we can look that up in the book later for the full perfect details. I don't have the entire book memorized. All right. Now, remember how I said those 2 class attributes of yours were the important one? Oh, cool, I was right. Dreadlock says your healing rate is per hour. All right, those 2 class attributes I mentioned. So you're going to combine those 2 numbers together, and you're going to divide by 2.
4.
That becomes your mana base. So you'll put the mana base over in the mana base box. Then depending on... Oh, yes.
This is going to take me longer. My math is so weird. It's like I'm looking at it and it says initiative, average of intelligence, agility, and perception. And I'm like, okay, that's too much math.
three numbers too much to add up?
Like 8, 6.
You said
add the class skills and then what?
Yeah, the two numbers that make up your class attributes. Not your class skills, your class attributes. So,
Right, sorry.
all good. Divide that by 2 and put that in your mana base section. So for your initiative, I can actually help you, Viv, if you want. Just give me the 3 numbers.
It's like was like I need a calculator. Okay, it's 8, 6, and 5.
So that'll be 19 divided by 3 is 6.3, which rounds down to 6. So that is your initiative. Does anybody else need help calculating their initiative?
Hold up, did it do that automatically?
It might. Walrus has attached a couple nice toys in there.
That's nice because it already says 6 and my life points are 34. You said that is Constitution.
Constitution times 4 plus 10.
Okay, so 4 times 6 is, I'm guessing,
24 plus 10 is 24.
Plus, that's 34. So, and then the mana base says 7, and you said that's the...
Your 2 class skills averaged together.
Okay, so that's 14.
14 divided by 2 is 7.
Yes, so it's already on there. That's really cool. And I said my wound is 6. Which
Sounds
is my
about right.
Constitution, right?
Wound is... Yeah, that should be right.
Okay, well, that's good. And the healing rate is 3, which was...
Constitution divided by 2.
Yeah, look at this. I didn't even have to do the math. It did it for me.
Yeah,
That's so
I'm
cool.
going to shout out to Walrus. They are an awesome person. They literally just did that because they wanted a automatic sheet. So we are totally compensating them in the future.
Yes,
thank you, Walrus.
and,
we appreciate your
like,
efforts.
The next thing he got to add is that, the database of the skills, so that it will automatically put the description of the skill in there too.
He has most of them. It was just the one that
recently added. They're all in there, but there's no description, so you got to type the description. But I'm just being, too demanding. All right. So I actually had rolled for a magic school's known. As an assassin, do I actually know a magic school?
You can actually pick with your skills. You can actually grab some token creation, some glyphs, and a magic school if you want to.
Okay.
Grabbing
For
magic
some reason
school
it says
Hmm.
I rolled for order. Not that I'm quite sure what that means or how that fits, but that was my random roll, so I got to make that work.
There are 14 schools of magic. The order magic is basically those that understand that everything has a pattern to it, from how a feather falls to how the clouds in the sky move. They are connected to that, and they use their magic to create order in the world.
Maybe it's how the body kind of works and how everything connects if I'm an assassin, right? That might be a pattern in order.
It could be, yeah. That'd be one interpretation of it.
Sorry for jumping around. That just jumped in my head because I looked over what I wrote down and I'm like, why did I write down a magic school? Oh yeah, I rolled for that.
If you choose to go down that path, I'd be more than happy to help you with that.
Yes, you know what? I rolled for it. This is what we're doing. It doesn't matter how weird it is. That's what I rolled. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. So you can actually take, when we get to your extra skills, you can put some points into the Magic School of Order, which will let you start the game with 3 order spells. You'll probably want some token creation and glyphs, because that's how you are able to cast and learn new spells. So I'll let you consider that. Does anybody else need help with any of our action stats? Oh, right. Let me finish up the mana base. So depending on if you have magic flow or not, you'll either do ×4 or ×6. We have one disadvantage where I believe you only get ×3 to your mana base. But that will be the total amount of magic points you have access to and can use. Now, spellcasters are not the only ones using magic in this world. To use magic items, you actually have to pour some of your own magic into it and attune to it to keep the item actually functioning and working. And you will be getting special custom items called legacy items that you'll be putting magic into as well. So don't worry if you're not a spellcaster, the mana is still very important.
Okay, so I'm seeing where your magic points are that you're supposed to be calculating, but where's the mana base? I'm not seeing where that is to calculate it.
So on the sheet, I don't have a, one second, let me grab a spare sheet.
It's under magic stats above magic points.
Oh yeah, no, I know where it is. I just don't know how to calculate it.
Okay, so your class, it has 2 class attributes.
Uh-huh.
So you'll take the average of those 2, which I can run that for you real quick if you want.
Oh, got it.
Okay. Then that becomes your mana base.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else need help with any of their stats, or are they at least caught up enough?
I have one quick question.
Go for it.
So, do you guys have a system for like how strong strength levels are, like a strength of 1 or a strength of 2, or does it tell you like what you can actually do with it? Like as far as lifting and carrying, or is it all about physical damage?
We don't really worry too much about weights. That's just more unnecessary math. The general baseline is 3 is an average human. An average adult human has about 3 in every stat. So, if you have a 3 in intelligence, you are an average intelligent. If you have 6 in strength, you're about twice as strong as the average human would be. But yeah, the stats will come up in a lot of interesting ways, especially when you start getting into the game and start using skills. Because what happens is you take the skill, and you take that number, you add it to the attribute. So if you have a strength of 6 and a brawling, which is a strength skill of 3, you'd be at a 9. And then you roll the dice and take those 2 numbers, and that's your overall score. So it helps not
Well, I
only
was just trying. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, go for it, go for it.
I was just trying to decide as a fairy, because she wouldn't be as strong as the average human. So I didn't know if I'd really want to go a stat of 3 or if I'd go lower, like a 1 or a 2. And that would be fairly, normal for a fairy.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do, being as we are just coming up to the end here, I will chat with any of our spellcasters. If they need any help with their spells, we can do that in the Discord. Let's get you guys your skills figured out, and we can do legacy items at the beginning of next time, or if we want, we can work it out on the Discord. We'll kind of see how you guys are feeling about it all. So, skills. You get 2 die 6. You'll start with 3 points in all of your class skills. So if you have those written down, you just automatically get 3. I know someone rolled where they got a bonus into one of their class skills. There you go. So you get to add +2, making one of them a 5. Everyone else, you can roll 2 die 6, and that is how many extra skill points you get to play with. Those with Jack of all trades. Was that the one get you your extra 1 die for?
Jack of all trades.
So roll it, look through it, and if you have any questions on skills, I am here to answer.
Repeat, how many dice do I get to roll? 3d6?
2 die 6.
2. Okay.
You automatically start with 3 in your class skills, the ones you pulled when you were pulling up your class.
Okay. So my dice tried to screw me with attributes, but they're very happy with my skills.
Go figure.
I got 2 5s for the 2d6, and I rolled a 4 for the Jack of all trades.
Very nice.
I am sitting on a lot of skill points.
Yeah, I got a 5 and a 6. So that's 11 extra points to use.
Hey, the dice gods are in a good mood tonight. How's everyone else doing?
I got a 5 and a 4.
Not bad.
Yeah, I got a 6 and a 5 plus a 4 on my D4.
Everyone's well above average tonight. How about you,
I got a
Schler?
6 and a 3.
Nice. How about you, Schler? How are you doing?
I got a 3.
Oh.
And then I rolled a 4 for my hobby, so I would just pick a skill and that 4 goes directly into that skill, right?
I believe so. Let me relook up hobby just to make sure I'm giving you the correct info. So it has to be a skill you've not already taken. But since you're at character creation, yeah. So you can't like have like 4 points in one and then add another 4. You get the 4 into one skill you don't have.
Right. And then that would be it. It sits at that 4, and I can't add to it with the other 15 points, right?
You can with the remaining 15 points. I know it sounds backwards. It's order of operations, basically.
You're fine. I was just double checking. So. So con is relatively important.
It is your fighting stat. Yeah, it definitely ties back to how much health and how well you stay up is going. But let's say you are someone who is super strong, you take the block skill, and if you can block everything coming at you, the health isn't getting affected as much. Or fairies get balanced out by having a ton of agility, so they are really good at dodging. But
yeah, but I'm the hybrid, so I have -4 to strength, -3 to con, and then I just get intelligence and charisma.
So talk your way out of the fight.
So luck is probably the low skill then, correct, in the pool? Since there's not a lot of skills yet for it?
There's not a lot of skills for luck. However, there's going to be quite a few times I'll ask you to roll for luck to see how something happens around you. So it can definitely be a dump stat, but you might feel it a little bit later.
All right. Because I have my stat points, I just have to figure out where I really want to put them.
Understandable.
Because I could take a 6 and do my -4 and still get a 2, and then add my +3 to a 4, and I'd still have a 7. So that would probably be smarter.
Hey, it's all about how you prefer to distribute it. What makes a good story? What matches your character? All right.
Bless you.
Does anybody need help with any of the skills? Any clarifications? Any questions? All right. If that is the case, I'm going to start wrapping everything up here. So I'm going to leave you with this. Make sure everyone still feels comfortable. They kind of wanted to go to Citadel, right? Kind of adventure and party around over there?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So, in that case...
Here's where I pretend I have read that part of the book.
Yeah, of course.
Where all the Shinnok or whatever you guys...
Yeah.
Shinnok?
Sihanouk, if you're pronouncing it in English. Shunuk, if you're pronouncing it in Gaelic. Your choice. So, we'll finish up getting your legacy items next round, or we can do it on the Discord. Again, you guys can choose. Maybe if the crowd here wants to see legacy items being built, then we can go for that. Or if they just want to hear what they are next time, again, it's pretty open. But as you consider your backstories, and as you consider your stories, and the dogs in the background growl, as you consider these different pieces, I'm going to say wherever you are at, and wherever you are at in your story, there is, in any port town, anywhere on Terral, there is, at the time you're around, a ship that is heading towards Citadel. It doesn't really care who it's taking. It is happy to take on any passengers. For one reason or another, you need to be on this ship. If you are a Sihanouk, then, well, you could probably just be on it as a worker if you felt so inclined. Or if you have come, basically any reason to the coastline, something pushes you to get on that ship. So just consider that with your backstory. All right. Is there anything else I can answer for you guys? Any more details? Okay.
I'm doing good.
And one last question. So we kind of vaguely covered this in our Discord page. But what kind of adventures are you guys after? Like, do you want lots of social engagement? Do you want lots of puzzles, dungeon crawls? Do you want this to basically just be back-to-back brawling? What are you looking for in this adventure?
Everything.
Everything.
I mean,
Yeah, everything is never bad.
I mean, not really the old school, everything is a dungeon thing. I mean, fighting is fun, but there has to be the role-playing aspect, and the puzzles I might not be very good at, but sometimes they're fun. It's just something that's pretty balanced so that we're not doing like 5 fights one and then the next time we spend. I also love little mysteries and intrigues and digging up clues, stuff like that. Not only like the puzzles, but like the bigger puzzles where you got to put what you had together, and then 5 sessions later you're like, this is how that works, that's why that happened. But I am not the note taker. I cannot play and take notes.
Okay, fair enough.
I know that I definitely lean more towards puzzles and social are the ones that I like better. But I'm happy with anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like all aspects of it. I'm not as super into puzzles as the other aspects, just because those take. I find puzzles to be less broad playgrounds for, I guess, what you're doing in a tabletop game than a role-playing game, than RP or combat. So social and combat are definitely the things I like the most. Combat doesn't necessarily have to revolve around dungeon crawling, but if dungeon is narrative to the story as well, then yeah, it's more interesting, I think.
All right. So what I'm hearing is basically a nice mixture of everything, keep it well balanced, maybe a little bit lighter on the puzzles.
Well, see, I'm more a fan of the puzzles and the role playing with a light on the fighting, because I've seen campaigns that are literally nothing but one fight after another, and that's all it is fighting.
I getcha. Okay, so basically,
I like a mixture of all.
mixture of everything. Okay. I will try and keep it as I will try and keep it as balanced as possible. So as a narrator, the type of style that I've built is basically, so it's gonna all be in Citadel unless you guys just somehow all decide to steal a ship and go sailing down to the Undead Islands. That's your call, but should mostly take place in Citadel. And there's going to be so the world moves even if you're not interacting with it. So there are characters who are doing things off in the background, off the spotlight, where you guys are the spotlight. And depending on what choices you take, the world will kind of react around you. So a lot of it is where you go and what you do affects what's going on. If I feel like you guys are stalling, then usually I will force a storyline to kind of come at you. But I try to avoid railroading. I try and make it as open and free as possible so that you guys really do have as much choice as you want to have. If you guys say, hey, is there a dungeon nearby? Yeah, of course there is. Go take a left. So a lot of that I think will be when we get the first session, kind of feeling out how the group works. But like I said, with the way I do it, you should be able to kind of just, there's plenty of hooks around, there's plenty of things going on, and kind of take it and run with it. Everyone okay with that idea?
Works for me.
Okay. Well, I will get one last plug out. Thank you everyone who has been watching tonight. Thank you for our awesome playtesters who are here and have patiently waited as we built a bunch of characters. I hope we had some fun. Honestly, what's the feedback with character creation and working with the creator? How does everything feel?
I dig it. I like it. I think I expressed that multiple times. There's parts I think are pretty cool.
I mean, I'm all for that RNG and try and see what I can do, and being able to even if it's not set up to be random, like it's 500, well, everything has a darn table, that's why the book is so darn big. But being able to make this crazy of a character with RNG, and yet still it will all fit together that well. That's what I love. That, you know, I got all this crazy stuff together, but because it is so well laid out, it still worked, you know? It's still, you know.
I think playing it with the creator is really cool because, you know, they have a better idea of how it all functions right now than other people do. So it helps streamline some of it in the creation process for sure.
Playing as it's meant to be instead of what we interpret later on, you know, what it's to be. I think that's cool.
I mean, we do want you to interpret. We leave it pretty open. Like, even as the creator, I'm mostly just here to go, yeah, I know the rules and I can react faster than a average narrator, but for the most part, it's, you know, it's open-ended. It really is about the choice of the group.
But it's really cool to be a part of it starting out from the beginning like this before it's even come out and help to find, you know, fine-tune everything.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. Like, we are blown away by the people we found along the way who have just been so instrumental in helping us figure out all these different elements. Especially, it's like ones we didn't even consider going in. We did not know we were going to have such a new understanding with some of our like species and the old associations they had with them, and they like the history that went along with it. So it's been great to be able to adapt our system, work with all the community, and go, okay, is this right for everyone? Is this the game everyone wants to play? So thank you guys so much for being a part of this. I'm glad after 4 weeks of prep, we were able to actually get together and start playing. So it'll be same time next week. I don't know how to raid because I am so brand new to this. So as Druidlocks, I hope you will be listening and will come in here and be my tech support for how to raid a different channel. Or Viv, if you know how in Streamlab, I would love to hear from you about how to do it. Maybe.
To be honest, I would always do it directly from Twitch.
Do it directly from Twitch. You see, I have Twitch closed because I was getting a feedback echo, so I don't have Twitch open at this point.
Well, you know, you just got to mute the tab. But you know what? Locks will get that for you. Because if I explain it without actually being to show it, that's gonna be like just slur us to the splash screen and he will fix it. I'm quite sure.
Right. Well, he catches up because I don't know how far delayed we are with the rest of the stream. Like I said, thanks again, guys. I appreciate it. If we have any last final thoughts we'd like to get out, as oh, there he is.
Hi.
Look, he's here.
Yeah.
See, you're already being raided.
/raid in the chat.
All right.
Let me tell you who we're gonna raid.
Who we raiding?
Let us raid Chef Byers again. He's always a good one.
Okay, how do you spell Chef Byers?
CHEF_BYERS.
All right.
And hit enter.
All right. Thank you, everyone, again. I will see you all next week. Thank you to all the viewers, and thank you to my tech support here. Have a great night, everyone. Goodbye.
See you guys next week.
And they're actually going to join you in a couple seconds. So if we look up top, 6, 5, 4, 3. Once it gets to 0, you click raid.
All right. And rating. All right. I'm not actually on Twitch right now, but they'll figure it out.
Well, that is now
That
his
worked
chat
out.
window that you're
Don't
in,
forget
by
to
the way.
stop
So
the
you should
stream in
go at least
OBS.
I guess.
acknowledge
Oh,
them acknowledging you.
thank you, Viv.
Let me tell you, I've done that plenty of times.
I'm sure. All right. Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.